One of the biggest controversies is why yun daw yung cauldron mukhang pre-tape. I think you've already disclosed that it was pre-tape.
Well,
what decision? Who decided that? Is this a part of the original plan?
Let's put it this way. When you do a show that is being broadcast to the whole world, to 5 million people across the world, you cannot make a mistake. It is always good to have a contingency plan. As far as I'm concerned, although this was not part of my official job, but as far as I'm concerned, we knew that the Sunday before we would have to have a fallback. I know the original plan also included a lighting for last Sunday, but again, when we were consulting the weather, and again, this is another thing about the Five Currents people, is that they had weather charts. So they could tell that it may not hit, but the wind will be strong. So with that kind of preparedness, shoot na natin, can na natin. If it doesn't work, we show.
But I mean,
if the wind gets stronger, then you may or may not choose to go on with the actual lighting, but we have what we need
So,
to come up with
binisindahan
a
niyo
show.
talaga siya. When was it taped?
Okay, as far as I know, it was done on Sunday, on the Sunday before the show.
A week
A week before the show.
And contingency talaga siya.
It was really a contingency.
Plan B talaga siya.
It was really a plan B. It was really a contingency.
So there was every intention
of doing it,
doing
yes,
it
of
live.
doing it there. Of course, after a while, kaming taga-production, so what? What are we doing? And then the winds are going to be very strong. And that was true. The Saturday where we were there, the last day, sabi ko, usually kasi I would be there ang init.
Yeah.
Suddenly that Saturday, there's another thing.
So the question is, when did they finally decide that
to go plan B?
Yes, that
To
we
go
would
plan
plan
B, I think
a
when
day before.
more or less a day before, more or less when we could tell when the winds were getting stronger.
Yeah.
But this
Naive na yun. Naive na,
No,
No.
Thursday and Friday were the crucial dates.
Okay.
When they knew the storm was coming, it became non-negotiable for the
Can
production.
I say, and this is not a question.
Sure.
It's not your call, but ang sa akin, that makes perfect sense. And it sounds very simple na we will do it, pero weather permitting, if not, plan B tayo. But I think the difficulty of people is there's no straightforward presentation of hindi kasi ganito nangyari. 'Di ba? It's been couched in hindi kasi unique eh. Kasi yan yung surprise eh.
Yan yung
kasi
original,
ngayon take it or leave. Kung di kayo happy, di sorry na lang po. But I'm just saying, like I said,
wish
it's
I
not
could
a
answer for
question,
that,
it's a
but
comment.
I'm
But
taking
I
it.
really think this makes perfect sense. It sounds reasonable. It's very sensible.
And it's apparently standard practice for many big Olympic events which are held in the open air to have that backup. I'll just bring in one more factor. The concern of the production group at that time, since they already said it's there anyway, matutuloy yan, whether or not there's an actual lighting, we have the show. Their concern was, and our concern was, if the storm hits the tent where the performers are, where the kids are, how do we evacuate that? So you could see
That's the bigger problem.
that became a
actually.
bigger problem actually.
In any case, from a creative standpoint, was that also the decision that basically our audience is the people who are watching from TV, not necessarily the people who are there in the venue?
Kasi
Yes,
may mga nagsipunta ron eh.
Oh yes.
Oh,
You
yun
were
ang
expecting
masakla.
the lighting.
Yeah.
At hindi pa naman bumabagyo nung araw na yan. That's why there was a lot of disappointment. And it took some time before we got this explanation.
I
from
can
you.
understand that. But
Who made the final decision? Yung final na, go na, tape na lang, tape.
our principle was, as a production group, if it is not rehearsed in the final dress rehearsal, we will not.
So kayo yon.
Yeah.
It was the
I'm not saying that
That's the
I'm not
rule.
saying that I had the decision not to do the others, not to do the live.
It
because
was the
that always an
creatives,
option.
not the
we will
committee
use,
itself.
We will use this. We have a show. Our concern: how do we deliver the best world-class broadcast that we can without any flubs?
But the production of the lighting, sa'yo rin yun?
No, that was handled by a separate.
Kasi tatanong ko sana kung
team.
magkano yun.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Kasi
can't
yung
answer
cauldron, 50 million.
Oo, 50 million eh.
So
Sorry, I
magkano
can't
yung lighting and the fireworks?
Oh,
can't
that
Yung
is
alam.
not expensive.
that. I suppose everything is
Yeah.
in some way or the other. I really didn't have a hand in that. I know that was a specially commissioned project for the other group to come up with that as an option, and then which eventually became the way of
So creatives
execution.
really decided na eto na yun, hindi na natin kaya yung mag-live. Yun yung final. I'm asking,
Okay.
kung sino
If
yung
you're asked-
final decision.
I wouldn't know. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you. All I know is that from a certain point, in our standpoint, we have the show. If
Okay
if
ka na.
okay na tayo.
Yeah.
If the weather permits, what you do there is, you just tell us.
Sa New Clark
We will
City,
be-
bahala
if
na
we
sila.
need to cover it,
Yeah.
we will cover it.
Yeah,
But
you
then
would just press a
also-
button naman and you're
Yeah.
already
No,
live.
but
eh,
also
diba? I mean,
even that, the
Yeah.
supposed
The
beaming.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be apologist for anything, but we're all in production.
Yeah.
We all know that it's best to be safe. It's best to have your show in the can.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
If that was done a week before, the lighting was done a week before, what about on the day itself? Was there a ceremony of sorts for the actual lighting on opening day?
I'm not sure. There was supposedly a plan, but at that point we were no longer concerned. There was supposed to be a plan of a ceremonial lighting.
Kung meron
but I
man,
don't know.
meaning you were not consulted anymore.
No, it's totally
Yeah.
beyond
It's,
me.
outside.
Number one, it's totally
Yeah.
beyond us na.